This is a podcast about Dave Boelman, who's on his 4th diagnosis of cancer. We must ask one question up top. Is Dave alive?
Yup.
Yes.
He's alive. Is he coherent?
Yup.
Yes.
Ish.
I would say
But
ish today.
Mostly yes. Yes enough to have a podcast.
Yep.
But let's get one thing right out of the way. Let's do the Iowa wave for Dave. Beautiful.
Nice.
He deserves it.
Nice.
All right. And Dave, how are you doing?
Oh, it's been a fun week. I've slept more in the last 7 days than I have in ages. I've hit a wall of some sort, and very inconsistent sleep at this point. But
Just
that's
kind
about
of
it.
when you can get it.
No, it's just I just fall asleep for long periods of time and wake up and look at the clock and don't know whether it's AM or PM until I look out the window.
Good.
Oh.
And then
Got good blinds at home.
yeah, and just kind of weird lifestyle right now. But
Fall asleep while you're driving.
no, I've got someone who drives me around.
Oh, nice.
I don't trust myself in my
It's not
current-
Morgan Freeman, is it?
Awesome. I was just thinking the
That'd be
same
amazing.
thing. That calls me Daisy.
But then he
I
slips
don't get
into
it.
Danny Glover sometimes. He's like, I'm too old for this shit. Yeah.
Yeah. But just fucked up sleep schedules is what it's messing with me right now.
It's hard. Sleep's big sleep switch is a big problem.
Yeah, I probably sleep anywhere from 18 to 20 hours a day right now. So,
Damn,
20.
dude.
Damn.
yeah.
Damn.
Yesterday was new league record. I think I slept till 3 in the afternoon. I woke up for a couple hours and fell right back asleep again, and it was a mess. But way it goes. That's life with cancer, kids. You never know what you're gonna get. You know.
I think Forrest Gump said that.
No. It was on my cancer card.
Oh,
Yeah.
At this point, what does your day look like when you are awake?
Yeah.
Like, what do you have to get done or decide that you need
have
to
to
get done?
get there's
Couple medical
still,
dramas.
There's still some legacy tax stuff that I have to kind of button up here and there, but
Whoa. Don't get too sexy on the pod.
hell yeah, start talking taxes.
Tax stuff.
You guys, as you heard, I had a tax conversation right
Yeah?
before we
Oh, yeah.
started.
Yeah, you
That
did. It was
was riveting.
huge.
You got
Yep.
that dirty 1099R ready for me?
Yeah, I can.
Dirty tax.
Oh, that slutty W-2.
It is such a whore. No, but I did my own tax extension estimate, and lit my house on fire for the insurance claim, so
Hell
I could
yeah.
pay for that.
Yeah.
Did you fall asleep after lighting your house on fire?
Yeah.
No, I was gone. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I've got some little things to talk to my doctor about tomorrow. Tomorrow is halfway point, boys. Yep.
Halfway point. Nice.
Yep.
Woo woo.
Treatment 3 of 6 tomorrow. So
That's
yep,
huge.
that is
right?
huge. Then we get a PET scan to see if this shit's working, and that's pretty much game.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of what I got planned for the next month or so. But I'll give updates, of course, periodically.
Please do.
Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. So before we get too far, I think
Yeah.
we better jump straight into the same Dave parlay.
Let's do it.
So we know what we're working with.
Yeah, so this week on the same Dave parlay, I got brags about losing weight in the last week. He was looking a little slimmer today than last week. Mentions a cancer setback.
Got it.
Da, da, da.
Do we have a cancer setback?
I don't think so.
Really? I thought about sleeping 20 hours as a setback.
No.
If it's
Yeah,
not
that's-
making you feel better, that's a setback.
Let's
We
make it
don't
work.
know.
I mean, I'm getting a little dark with it. Mentions University of Iowa or the Hawkeyes over 2.5 times.
Wow. Okay.
That one feels real.
Yep.
It's got life
It's
for
nice.
the next
It's nice and organic.
hour and a half or so, roughly.
Can I get a point of clarification?
Yes.
Sure.
When you say University of Iowa or Hawkeyes, could that both of them combined, or it have to be one or the other?
Yeah, that would be one mention basically. If he's like, oh yeah, I was watching the.
Oh, no, not even that. If he was like, oh, University of Iowa, and then later he was like Hawkeyes, is that same thing on the parlay?
Same thing.
Yeah, I mean, if it's the same story.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one.
Just checking
mention.
it.
Or if he's like, I was just watching the University of Iowa Hawkeyes.
That's
all in
mention.
one thing.
One
One
mention.
mention.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he get
All right.
double points for being in both of everything mentioned?
I mean,
All right. I don't know. Betting
he's gonna
works.
intentionally not mention the Hawkeyes at all this whole episode.
I'm going to mention it once
Okay. So
because the baseball team took 2 or 3 from Nebraska this weekend.
Oh,
so
did they?
that's-
The
Yeah.
baseball team of
Iowa.
Oh, that's one.
Yeah. So there it is.
beautiful.
No cancer setback though. So.
No,
No
I don't.
cancer.
I don't
We gotta-
consider.
we
I
gotta
don't.
get that live.
I don't.
Somebody-
I don't consider a setback will be if I get a PET scan and
Right.
and it's
Oh,
not
you
working.
Yeah, I would
okay?
say
That's
You're
like-
it's big picture, not
Yeah,
small picture.
Not small picture.
Yeah, you got your
I
eyes
can
on-
tolerate basically anything this shit wants to throw at me, but
Hell yeah, brother.
Somebody
Yeah,
text his
it's a mental
doctor and offer a
toughness.
bribe.
what? A bribe of what?
I'm just gonna text your doctor really quick. And
Hey,
have
we
him
just
call
we
you.
just need to we
We
needed him to.
actually got the results for those tests back
I'm
then.
pretty sure she wouldn't do that.
Oh, they're not into pranks.
No,
Doctors are
no.
extremely
That would be
serious people.
That would be fucking great though. If she did, if she wasn't on a prank and just came in and really sullen face and just like, we got your PET scan results, man.
My wife straight
You're
up
pregnant.
did one of my old bits to my face about
What?
a prank and thinking that it, like she was like, wouldn't it be crazy if on like April Fool's Day you gave somebody a gift card, wrote like $150, but it had nothing on it? I was like, that's my joke about graduation parties. Yeah. Teaching these kids how the real world works. And
That's
she's like,
right.
oh my God, that is your joke.
It is.
I think the problem with giving somebody an empty gift card is that I've had that happen to me before, and I was just too polite to tell them that they didn't put any money on it or it didn't work.
That says a lot about your character though, dude. So that actually was an important gift.
There
You were
was,
a good person. You just sucked it up and went through life. That's good.
Sure. Yep.
I appreciate you saying that I'm a good person instead of a little bitch, but I do appreciate it.
Wait,
That
wait. So,
bitch.
so the good person is when they calls them. I'm like, hey Jerry, what the fuck?
When,
My Olive Garden gift card didn't have anything on it. I had to pay for all those breadsticks.
I was
I mean, yeah,
embarrassed.
because you're put into a situation that kind of sucks. So, I mean, like, yeah, you should stand up for yourself, I guess.
Okay, yeah, I guess there's a middle
Spent
ground there.
$150
There's a
on
middle ground
Super
there.
Toscana.
I know what I'm getting you for Christmas, Matt.
An empty gift card.
Empty gift
Thanks.
card.
when I worked at a grocery
Stole the
store,
gift card, too.
The produce manager would always be pulling pranks on people, and his assistant manager, he gave him a gift card to a restaurant and did that where it was empty. And it was like, yeah, whatever. So the guy goes out and comes back and complains the next day. He's like, yeah, I went to the restaurant and they ran it and they said like, you know, there wasn't anything on it. And he's like, well, actually, the manager told me, he's like, a weird thing happened. He was like, I saw in the paper there was like a meteor that was flying by, and that messed up with some of the signals for
Sure.
like transactions going through. And so the guy went out and had dinner a second time trying to use the gift card. He got him twice to go out with it. He's like, yeah, it still didn't work. He's like, yeah, it's because there's nothing on it, man. I was like, what a dick.
Damn.
He's got tickets to Fire Festival too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Dave, greatest prank in your
Oh,
life.
yeah.
What
Oh
do you-
my
let's do
God.
that. We found something to get some Dave knowledge.
See, this is what sucks about chemo fog is that your memory isn't as vast, and so nothing comes immediately to mind. Can I think about it?
Absolutely.
No.
Yeah, you can think about it. What we'll do is we'll do a different segment for now that you don't have to think too
I
hard
got
on,
it.
which is
He's got it.
all right. Never mind. He's got it. We're
Yeah. Hey,
We're
thanks,
back.
Matt. Never mind though.
Sorry,
Shut up.
everyone.
Yeah. Stand up for yourself. Tell him no. We're doing the other segment. Tell him. Make him remember
But
it.
being such a nice person.
Yeah.
You know what? You're right. Fuck you, Dave. We're doing. How's Dave looking?
Yeah,
Dave's looking like he's in a gang that Trump's like, they don't have to go to El Salvador. They could stay. That's his look right now. Yeah.
it's the code.
There's not a lot of visual difference, but I mean the hat does do a lot.
Yeah.
It adds warmth, is what it adds. I'm a bitch when it comes to having.
What
all that.
if the cast of Rocket Power got out of shape? That's what I'm thinking with you right now. You don't know Rocket Power, do you?
Yeah, I can see it kind of.
I barely know Rocket Power.
Really?
That's the
You
most
guys-
shocking thing here.
I had a very younger brother.
That
It was
was
a Nickelodeon show about skateboarders.
Yeah, missed that one.
Twister,
Yeah. I bet
Sammy,
you did.
Reggie.
Do you feel more aerodynamic without the hair? Like, do you
Sleek.
like faster everywhere?
Yeah.
you're
Sleek
going?
is the word you're looking
Sleek?
for,
Okay,
Wes.
there
When
we
I'm
go.
running my 40s for the combine,
Yeah.
Yeah. You just
zipping.
What about laps in the pool? I bet
Pretty
you look
good.
good wet.
Dolphin,
Bet you look
man.
good
I'm
wet.
like Rowdy Gaines out there.
Yeah.
just fucking stacking gold medals at the Lifetime.
That's
Like, is that
incredible.
Michael Phelps out there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Andy forgot his prank.
Yeah.
Nope, I got it. If you want.
will
Yeah,
say-
what is it? Let's hear it.
I don't know if it's a prank. You guys, judgment call. We'll go to the audience here at the end of my discussion here, and then you can say whether it's a prank or not. So in the late 80s, the Statue of Liberty was being refurbished, right? So they had scaffolding all the way up this thing, and they're tuck pointing and doing all the things you do to Lady Liberty to keep her crisp.
Oh man,
And,
that would piss some people off.
They
You do a
decided
talk on
to
Lady
do a
Liberty.
big fireworks display over 4th of July in New York City that was on TV and this, that, and the other thing. And my friend Jen of Jen's Needleworks fame, and we were having a party and for whatever reason had the TV on to these fireworks, and she goes, "Oh my God, what happened to the Statue of Liberty?" And I said, "You didn't hear?" She goes, "What?" And I said, "David Copperfield made it disappear." She goes, "What?" I go, "Yeah, a couple weeks ago they had a thing, and now they're having to rebuild the Statue of Liberty." She's like, "Oh my God!" I go, "He couldn't get it back. He made it disappear. And he couldn't get it back."
I did my job, guys.
Yeah.
You gotta
All right. Yeah, I think it's a prank.
call a Frenchman.
She bit it hook, line, and sinker.
I don't know if is that mess with, where's that in the line of messing with
that's what I'm
somebody?
saying.
and
Is it
prank-
It's
really
like,
a
yeah, like
prank
what
or-
if like she went to her office and she's like, guys, did you hear about the Statue of Liberty? Like that's
I'm pretty sure I let her go for
yeah,
a while.
right.
on
That's
it.
that's the
I think it's less of a prank and more you were just selling the magic trick a bit more.
yeah.
And it's the late '80s, so she couldn't like do a Google search or something.
For a
You gotta swim in
graduation
that
gift,
for a
I
while.
did get her a model of the Statue of Liberty.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think this just makes you a liar, Dave.
Yeah.
Wasn't the trick to that
Love you, Jen.
magic trick was everybody was on a boat and they just turned the boat?
Yep. Somehow they just made everyone like their vision just turned them so where Statue of Liberty wasn't. And it's like, oh, okay, good trick.
Fantastic.
Wow. Great trick.
Ah, magic.
Love it. Can't get enough magic.
I'd much
Nice.
rather be on that boat than the boat that was in Chicago and went under the bridge with Dave Matthews Band tour bus, and they dumped their poo-poo.
Oh no.
Yeah,
They're just raining down on everybody.
I love that story. It comes up like the 10-year anniversary was just like a couple months ago, and like my family group chat was like, "This is awesome." I love that. Love that story.
Heartwarming family traditions.
I'm trying to think what other pranks I've pulled. I
there
know
anything in
I
high
have,
school?
but
Is there- well,
Was there anything in high school?
well, I think I told you guys about emptying out my 8th grade English teacher's room.
No,
I didn't tell you about that.
I don't think I heard that one.
I got pissed at her because she was a very difficult teacher. She was a old school, very good teacher if you were above a certain level, because she grilled you pretty hard on diagramming sentences and everything. And so grammatically, we were all pretty sharp by the time we got to high school. But she was not so forgiving if you were below a certain standard. And she kind of made those people feel pretty
Less
bad all the
than,
time.
yeah.
Yeah. So I got pissed because she was going after a friend of mine at one point, and we had it out. And then I decided, because my mom was a teacher in the same school, I had a key to it. So I talked to my friend Jason and said, "We're going to go in, we're going to empty out her entire classroom. Everything. Bulletin boards, everything." So we went in at like 4:35 in the morning and just started hauling one desk, and we put one desk in each classroom so it didn't stick out. And then we moved her, like the bookshelves went into the library, her desk went into some supplemental room that no one ever goes into. And we emptied it completely out. We took down the bulletin boards. Almost down to the staples. There was nothing in that room. And then she came in, and to her credit, I was hoping she would get really pissed off, and I would have a little visit with my superintendent or principal or whoever, but she laughed it off, and that was the right play on her part.
Instead of losing her mind.
She laughed it off.
What else did you do with that key? You do anything else with that key?
I had access to the school building, yeah.
So you had a key to the school, and what you did with it was kind of bully a teacher because she was bullying one of your friends. You're all right, Dave Boelman. You're all right.
My buddy was a high school janitor or a grade school janitor, like in a summer one year. And this one teacher was retiring. So all the other teachers did either the same thing or like they stacked all the desks like to make a tower or something on it. And they're all like, he walked into the room and they're all like, ha, 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 ha. And he just looks at my buddy like, are you going to clean my room? So like my buddy got screwed over in the process of it. So you weren't screwing her over.
Probably because of that laugh.
Yeah. So the janitor of that school hated you, Dave, but.
Oh. No, because we had to put it all back. I mean, that wasn't that big of a deal, but I was still pissed that there's a picture in the annual of me and Jason just standing in the middle of this empty room from 8th grade.
They found out that you did it?
Oh, immediately. She knew who did it.
Oh, okay.
She's not stupid. There's only one kid with access.
She's not stupid, and she has great grammar.
Yeah, she did. She's Norwegian. Her name was Astrid Columbus, Mrs. Columbus. And her husband was German. So they were over here, and she always told us how great Norway is. And in high school, just because it was her, I was like, fuck off. It's a shithole, whatever, fucking bullshit.
It was the 80s, dude.
Europe. Fuck off. And then now I really want to go to Norway because I heard it's spectacular.
Incredible.
Norway apparently has the best cup of coffee on the planet.
Really?
If you Google like where to find the best coffee,
They have a Dunkin' Donuts in Norway?
supposedly Norway is brewing some good coffees.
Say what you want about Casey Affleck, because Dunkin' Donuts Saturday Night Live commercials
It's pretty good, yeah.
undefeated.
Yeah.
Free coffee.
He's like smoking a cigarette outside the door, like still in. It's great.
I'm outside. Whenever a Boston guy's on Saturday Night Live, they just nail it.
Yeah.
It's so fucking great. It's funny. If it's anything like that, I'm like, I'd get my ass kicked thrice daily if I lived in Boston.
Yeah, I thought
What
of
are
a
you
question.
doing over
Yeah,
there?
Matt's
Coach?
having fun with the tape measure.
Don't worry about it.
All right.
I don't know if we've asked this before. So you were a tax guy for a very long time.
Yeah.
What was the backup plan to taxes? Do you have another thing that you wanted to do, or another before you went to school for taxes? Like, was there another job career?
I went to
you
school
wanted
for
do?
accounting. So
Or accounting, okay.
yeah. So my accounting's pretty broad, and
Okay.
you can do a lot with it. So my initial plan was to be a stockbroker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my dad's stockbroker sat me down. His name is Larry Hayes, and he sat me down, and my dad had me sit down with him and say, "Hey, what's it like to be a stockbroker kind of thing?" And he said, "You can get a degree in anything because being a stockbroker is sales more than anything." So he goes, "Just get an accounting degree or something useful because that'll be as helpful as anything." So that's what I did.
Okay.
Ended up doing okay on the CPA exam and got a job with a accounting firm out of college, and rest we're off to the races. Yeah, I didn't do taxes for about 8 to 10 years
Okay.
in the middle of my career because I was at Ernst & Young and I did all audit and transaction work there. I didn't do anything with taxes, and then 2 years as controller of a company here in town. I didn't do anything with taxes. My first year or two of our advisory, we didn't do taxes, and then I jumped back into it.
Oh, all right.
So I had to relearn a lot of things and fine tune a lot of things. And
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to be a cop or something. When you were
oh
growing
hell
up.
no, no.
That's your go-to.
I-
No, you wanted to be on Wolf of Wall Street.
Exactly. No, I didn't know what a stockbroker did or what. I just assumed they sat there and looked at stocks all day and would come up with a genius idea and then call their clients. And that's
You want to be Gordon Gekko.
that's not the way that works.
No.
It's 100% sales driven, so it's all about generating activity. It's not about necessarily returns. Now, debatable. I mean, there's some brokers who are very, very good at their jobs and are able to pick the babies from the bathwater and do very well for their clients, but not all of them.
When you see like the stock market on TV and it's all the people like yelling buy, sell,
Yeah.
and all the thing in the pit, like what do they do? You know what they're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're buying and selling.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess,
Buy.
how the hell is anyone tracking that? What's the point of like
There's
why
a-
in such a
yeah.
chaotic
Why do
way?
they have to be there? Can't they just do this online?
Yeah.
They do now. It's largely
Okay.
computerized. Yeah, that's, up until
You look at pictures back in the day to now.
it's a pit. Yeah, it's
No, but now there's like very few people compared to what it used to be
That's-
because it's computers.
it's negligible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they were rolling off. They were just trying to roll off even like 10-cent gain. Like,
Yeah, so there are guys in the stock that are members of the stock exchange that are called specialists. And the specialist in a particular stock is somebody who warehouses shares and will, sell you shares or buy shares from you or whatever. They kind of manage the price of what's going on. And this is speaking a little out of half knowledge, but that's how it used to work.
Okay.
Now it's all computerized.
Gotcha.
And I don't know if those specialists even still exist anymore. I know like there are, if you go to the like Chicago Board of Trade and stuff like that, they're largely those big pits are a thing of the past. But yeah, it's all computer and algo trading now.
So one thing about the stock market is it's very complex, and I feel like I've played around on stocks since I was 18 or so, and I still like only kind of know what I'm doing. I guess, what is your percentage knowledge of how the stock market works? Are you, hey, I can understand every which direction you can take the stock market, or?
I think I have a very comprehensive knowledge of it. I mean, but there's things that even I, when I'm watching like CNBC, and if you watch the specialized TV shows, they will use terminology every once in a while that makes me Google something, and I'm like, what the heck is that? And they use a lot of shorthand if they're talking very quickly and trying to make a point because they all speak the same language. And then people like me are like, and so I have to go back and rethink it. But I feel pretty confident or comfortable when I'm looking at something that I know.
So like put options
Yeah, I
and
know
things
all
like
that
that.
stuff,
Yeah, you're
yeah.
good with that. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yep. Because I'm securities registered as well, so I had to take tests and this stuff. So it's not like I'm just gaining this knowledge. I had to focus intention.
Very cool.
Isn't
Dave-
this riveting,
Dave-
folks?
Dave, you want to grab a wig from the bag that's next to you?
The BOW.
oh, that's
That's
nice.
the one I had last week.
This is beautiful. Is it?
Yeah.
Ugh, he's not gonna put that on.
Well, I mean, we all have short enough hair to where I don't think any of us have lice.
You think?
You want to look?
Oh, look at
Yeah,
this.
that's tight.
Oh, there we go.
there we go. Oh,
a
that's
good
gonna
one.
be a nice little Goldilocks handsome boy.
Honestly, probably the best possible wig you could grab. Everyone's telling me.
That's your game show host wig.
Was it? I don't remember.
Nice.
probably
There we
was.
go.
Feel like Brad Pitt.
You look like it.
You look.
What's in the box?
That's right.
All right, how's Dave look now?
Golden boy.
Shimmery, yeah. He's you're glistening.
I like it.
He looks like somebody at a casino would piss him off, and he would take a key to the casino and empty it out and put it all in a different room, all the tables and
All the
whatnot.
slot machines.
Oh, I'm with you.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, you bankrupt a casino.
I completely was
Dumb
lost.
Joe.
I was out to lunch on that one.
it's all good.
Yeah, I didn't
Like a
know.
burn victim that you got to do a double take to know something happened. Yeah.
Speaking of burn victims, have you guys watched the TV show The Pit yet?
A couple episodes.
It's on HBO Max. It
Probably
is
not the one you're talking about.
outstanding.
Yeah, it's a medical drama. You love them.
Yes, but even by medical drama.
This was medical drama meets 24.
Yeah, and it's I guess I've watched some like ER doctors who comment on it on YouTube and stuff like that, and they say, "Yep,
Yeah.
that's what it is."
Pretty accurate.
Yeah, like even the treatments and stuff like that, they're like, "Oh, yeah."
So
Well,
the,
new segment, typical Dave. I asked you if you were watching The Pit on episode 1 of this podcast, and now you're bringing it up.
Really?
Yeah. That's okay, though.
full circle.
Chemo fog.
Chemo fog.
Did you see that? Because I think it's got some of the ER people
Yeah,
putting it together. I saw that like Michael Crichton's estate or something is suing it for being
yeah.
too similar to
it's,
ER. When it's like it's just the same.
It's a medical
area.
drama.
Yeah, it's a medical drama.
It's like, yeah, better sue all of them.
Yeah, can Chicago Fire Department sue Chicago Abortion Clinic because they're both filmed in Chicago? Like, how's that work?
That'd be a great TV drama. Chicago abortion.
Yeah, it's the last one they need to get the the full thing. Yeah.
Dave, I like your Elton John impersonator look that you got going on right now.
Hell
What?
yeah.
Sing us a song, Dave.
Goodbye, Glut. I don't know what the songs are. I don't know what the words
I
are.
hope
Just
you
try
don't
it. See how
mind.
far you can get.
Oh, tell me an Elton John song.
I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind.
Tiny
That's all I
Dancer.
got.
How about
Yeah,
Rocket
Tiny
Man?
Dancer.
Green lady. Shimba bleed. I don't know the words.
Holy shit, we have
Yeah.
Elton John in the room.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
Yes.
When you do actually
Seems is for the band.
when you do actually die, I'm just gonna take a screenshot of you with this wig on and put that on the pamphlet for everyone to grab.
Perfect.
Put it on the little card that you get.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike, you have a good funeral story.
The comedy scene funeral of Dave Boelman.
My
Yep.
will.
No, the one where Thebadocious or
Oh man.
you have a great funeral story.
Yeah, my grandma and grandpa were living down in Arizona for a while, but then they
Which
moved
one?
back the Gettlers.
Okay.
And then they moved back up here. Just my grandpa though, because he had to start working at the John Deere again.
Yep.
And he was gonna have to go back to get my grandma to drive her back. But they were like, no, like, you don't have any vacation yet. You just started working. Like, the only way would be if there was a family emergency. And he's like, well, guess what? There's a funeral I got to get to down in Arizona. And so he goes back to Arizona, picks up my grandma and everything. And he's just looking all over town to, like, find a funeral that he can. And it's a black man named Thebadocious. And so he has to go in there. He has to get the whatever, like the
card.
program
Yeah.
to like bring back. And they're like, what? He's like, yep, no, it's great uncle Thebadocious.
Yep.
You gotta pay me for that time now. Yeah.
Yeah. Old T.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Old T.
Yeah. It's the only funeral you could find in town that day.
That is fantastic.
What did
Yep.
Thebadocious' family say?
I'm sure Grandpa was a big hit there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He walked in all
Old Thebo.
sad.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me when you guys say funeral. I don't like.
It's good, man.
This podcast is called Dave's Gonna Die.
I mean,
we're gonna look at you when we say funeral.
All right, fair enough. Are you done playing with the tape measure now, or?
Yeah, I found Post-it notes, so I'm gonna play with
All
the
right, gonna
Post-it
play
notes.
with Post-it notes now. All right.
Then I'm gonna mess with this antique lamp next to me too.
Sounds good. I can drone on about the stock market again if you want.
I mean,
no. Let's figure out.
Yeah, no shit. That was
Amusement
fucking
parks. You ever been to an amusement park?
Jesus Christ!
Are we
yes.
are we on the Dave's Fuck It bucket or
Pretty
what's-
much.
Okay.
And I'm not exaggerating here. My brother and I were roller coaster freaks as kids. And we traveled almost all the entire western United States in my childhood. So every roller coaster park between here and California, we pretty much hit.
Yeah.
With the exception of the extreme Northwest. And I don't know if they have them up there. It's kind of crunchy.
Yeah.
I don't think they're thrill seekers up there.
Big coaster guy.
Yeah, it's just like the stock market.
Yeah, up and down, up and down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you do that again, Aaron?
Yeah, you know you're hardcore. You're pretty hardcore roller coaster.
We're staying on
when-
topic.
When you enjoy Magic Mountain far more than you enjoy Disneyland.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, this is bullshit. I thought Disneyland and Disney World were just the most asinine things in the world.
You
Did
been
you
to
get
both?
to
Huh?
You been to both?
Yeah.
You get to hug
Asinine
Mickey
how?
though.
It's more correct me if I'm wrong, it's more that it's about, no, you're at Disney. It's not like the rides have to be great.
The rides
Okay.
are not compelling. There's nothing.
Right.
I don't get excited about Disney as a whole, so I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
And so, but you take me to Magic Mountain, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah,
That's a
they had-
good coaster park.
They got some good rides.
Very good coaster park.
With the
Disney
Magic
has, like
Mountain.
4 or 5 like actually decent like fun rides.
Who
Otherwise,
does?
it's Disney. I mean,
What are they?
Rock and roller coaster.
I actually never went on that one.
Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror is good.
See, these are all after I'd
Space
been
Mountain's
there.
like okay.
Space Mountain was the coaster when I was there.
Yeah. But it's just
Matterhorn
like okay.
in LA. They didn't have it in Florida.
The little Dumbo elephants, they go up and down.
That's the one that I don't count.
Pirates of the Caribbean was cool.
What's
just 'cause-
what's the water ride? Splash Mountain, but they got rid of it, didn't they?
I don't remember.
I think, well, they got rid of the log ride out here. RIP log ride.
Yeah.
Oh, is that yeah?
The log ride got rid of.
Someone died,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, they flipped the whole thing over and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone died.
The best log or the dark ride I'd ever been on was at Disney. They made for some reason like a horror ride called like the Alien Extermination Ride, where basically you go into a room where an alien breaks out.
yeah,
and, like,
that's
the
not a
lights
log
go out.
ride.
No, I'm not talking about log
Oh,
rides. I'm
okay.
talking about dark rides.
Yeah, they had to change it to Stitch,
Yeah, they changed it to Stitch. It was stupid.
and then they still had to change it. They got rid of it altogether because it was still scaring
It was
the
still scaring
shit
the
out of
children.
kids.
Yeah.
I was terrified on that. My sister was 8, I was 6 the first time we went to Disney, and she wanted to ride it again, and I was like, I'm not doing it. I was
Ain't happening.
pissing my pants. Well, yeah, because they get like a fake worker up in the rafters who's like, he shines a flashlight down and he's like, hey, is everybody all right down there? And everybody's like, yeah, that alien just bust out. He's like, all right, well, there's actually a problem here. Like, this is not. And then all of a sudden, like, the alien comes and finds him and like rips him apart. And he's like, ah! And I'm like, oh my God.
Someone actually died.
This is how I go.
No, that's a great prank.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, fucking Disney, Walt Disney from his grave.
I went on it when it actually had like it was the full blown horror ride, and it was just so many screaming children when the lights go out, because like the alien breaks out and then does the thing where it sprays air on you to make it and makes it sound like it's right behind you, and then like sprays water on you different times, and the kids are like not just screaming, like terrified. Scream, like they're traumatized.
Yeah. It wasn't a roller coaster per se, but
Speaking of Disney, though, Dave,
Yeah.
the old rumors about that old fella, would you put yourself on ice for any reason?
No.
No?
Like cryo freezing.
Yeah.
cryogenics.
I think we've all figured out that like that hasn't really worked.
Not yet.
No, it's like I read an article where it's like they would like check in on it, and it would just be everyone just melted into a puddle.
A little worse,
at the
yeah.
bottom, and just like the most disgusting congealed.
Well, there's a lot of stuff we couldn't
Blob.
do yesterday that we can do today, Matt.
Okay,
So maybe
this
think
article
about
came out
that.
like last year.
Maybe think about that before
That's
you
where
open your
Iowa
mouth.
gets their water from.
Sad.
Yeah, Ted Williams, the baseball player, I think did cryogenics.
He was an asshole.
Yeah, he hit over 400 though, and
He's a
fought
great
in the
player.
war.
There's no disputing his greatness as a player, but fucking asshole.
A lot of them are.
I know.
That's what I was gonna say.
Don't ever meet your heroes
That's right.
unless it's Dave Boelman.
Right.
Dave, you're my hero.
Ooh, awkward.
Weird.
This is why you don't meet them. This is bad. Any other questions? Anyone else have another question?
Are we on the,
roller
are we on the
coasters.
fucking bucket or?
Yeah, we could be on the fucking.
All right.
skip. That's all it's left.
I got like
a
a personal question. You kind of mentioned your parents last week, and they've both passed.
Mm-hmm.
What do you miss most about your parents?
I'll use today as an example. I used to call my dad whenever Zach Johnson was doing well in a golf tournament because my brother and I joked around. He's the third Boelman brother. And so that's what I miss is those little one-off
Every time
conversations.
things.
Yeah, just we could make him laugh by making just the most obscure reference to our hometown, and he would lose his shit laughing. That kind of stuff. I remember. As far as my dad, same thing with mom. Just giving her a call, just checking up, whatever. And we didn't have long conversations because neither of us were real phone heavy people. But that's what I miss. It's not. I'm very fortunate in that. Towards the end with both of them, because of my job flexibility and stuff like that, I could spend an enormous amount of time with them. So there wasn't really anything left unsaid or anything like that. So it's just these little one-off things that Kurt and I talk about, or my brother, what we miss about them. And we still own the townhouse in Iowa City, so it's kind of like a weird museum to my parents. Yeah. Yeah,
you guys just don't want to go clean it out, or like
that's
what?
part of it. I'd be lying if there wasn't a little bit of a laziness factor of God. It's just so much shit.
There's a university in that town, right?
Yeah. Here we go again.
Sorry,
but I mean, yeah. So we have people that stay there periodically, and it's still more or less
bands traveling through the area.
Right, yeah, there's people that stay there regularly, so there's someone in the house, so to speak. But
what's like, I guess the best thing that they either taught you or gave you in life?
Oh wow. They're both very kind. They're just kind people.
I was hoping you were going to say withdrawal method or something like that.
Yeah.
Dad taught me that pull-out game, and I never quit.
never went back. No, they're just both very kind people, and so that kind of rubbed off. And then,
did it?
No, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, in its own way. And then they're very altruistic, meaning they did my dad especially did a lot for our hometown, either directly or indirectly. Stuff that people know about, stuff that people don't know about. And so, if you go back to Applington right now, and it's a small town, it's a town of 1,000 people. We're not talking about a metropolis, but he was the mayor of the town. He was on the school board. He was that guy. And in the 70s, he and a buddy sat down and drew up a plan to build a golf course. They didn't have 2 nickels to scratch together between them, but they got it done. So there's a golf course and everything in Applington. And then years later, when he was mayor, he got pissed off in the floods of '93 because Applington's kind of built on a hill like this, and there's 2 or 3 streets that are pretty low lying. And he didn't like the fact that these people were getting flooded out from everybody upstairs or up the hill from him. So he put a curb and gutter in the whole town to relieve that.
Nice.
And when he was mayor, and then
This is your dad?
Yeah,
He was mayor?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
And then he decided when Applington and Parkersburg looked like they were headed towards whole grade sharing or merging, he said, well, if we don't build a new school, they're going to close it, and there won't be a school in Applington. So in a way to kind of play a little poker with Parkersburg, they built a school, a brand new school. And so it was be like, okay, you can shut it down, but it's a brand new school. So he did a lot for that community. At the end of the day, he did as dumb as it sounds, like the water and sewer treatment.
That's pretty important.
I mean, he did a lot. Capital. Now, Applington went from like one of the lowest taxed property tax cities to one of the highest in a pretty quick order because of the efforts. But if you go back there now, there's a lot of people who are like, he did a lot of good stuff, even if they were pissed at the time.
Yeah.
So I think those things have had a huge influence on me.
How much more in your life do you have to accomplish to match what your dad did?
Whoa.
Like, how far are you? What percentage are we at?
Are you running for mayor?
For like, what do you mean?
Like, you said he did a lot of good indirectly,
Yeah.
directly. Like
I'd
you've
have
done some good.
some good, yeah.
Have you passed him up in the
Oh, hell
amount of
no.
good, or
No.
like how much more good do you have to do
A lot. I would have to do a lot.
to run
You're
for
talking-
president with that hair?
right? That'd
How
be
old were
awesome.
you when your dad was mayor?
I want to say out of high school.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say if you're a
that's
kid,
good. Yeah, if you're a kid, I bet you were.
You were like, do you know
My
who my
dad's
dad is?
mayor.
Yeah.
I was never that guy because that didn't carry as much weight as you would think.
No, I know it doesn't carry any weight.
Did he walk around with a giant sash that just said
Mayor with the top.
Yeah.
Mayor.
That is one of my favorite things, though, when people are like, "Oh, yeah, my dad's a doctor, so maybe listen to me." It was like, you work at Arby's, so like, I don't care what your dad does.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about small towns. It's fairly democratic. And I don't mean like politically. I mean in terms of it does not fucking matter what walk of life you're from. No one gives a shit.
Yeah.
You're either a decent person, a good person. That means
you still live here, yeah,
or you're
yeah,
a piece of shit, and everybody knows which one's which.
Yeah.
And that's what I appreciate about growing up there. I didn't realize, growing up, that my parents were broke until a certain age. I didn't realize that my friends' parents, when I was like in high school and stuff, never registered with me that some of my friends' parents were broke, because they're my friends. I was like, fuck, I don't care. If you pick and choose your friends based on any sort of socioeconomic metric or whatever, you're fucked in a small town. I mean, so we were all cool with each other for the most part, and didn't matter. But
Who was your worst friend in the small town that you got rid of, and why?
what?
Like when you left the small town,
Yep.
you get sometimes just kind of fall out of touch with some of the people you were friends with.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Who was the worst one?
Yeah, like you're driving.
Thank God I
smoking a
never
cigarette,
have to
like,
talk
I'm never
to
talking to this
Steve
son of a
again.
bitch again. Yeah.
I don't think I intentionally did it, but I mean, there's guys that I grew up with that I'm like, if I never talk to them again in my life, that's okay. And
Who's the last person you thought that about?
Greg Hassman.
How long ago was that?
Oh, that
bad
would
Ian's
have
not
been
here.
when
You
I
can
was
look
coming
him
out of
up.
high school.
No, I mean like who's the last person?
Oh, the last one? Jesus Christ, comedy scene. Jesus, you're gonna meet a lot.
It doesn't have to be okay. Yeah. I was gonna say it doesn't have to be that. And you're like, no, it's gonna be that. Yeah, it's gonna be that.
You're gonna not a lot. Lot meaning like if you meet, a handful of people that you don't ever need to talk to again. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a good amount.
And there's some that change your mind over time too. You're like your first meeting, you're like, you are a complete dipshit.
Yeah.
I don't ever need to talk to you again. And then they persist and they hang around, and the next thing you know, they're Jeff Newell.
I should have taken the over one
Right?
Jeff Newell
Yep,
mention
yep.
today.
I knew I saw that.
Damn
on there.
it.
No, I mean, love you, Hefe, but it's and I didn't think that about Jeff the first time I met him. I was like, what? And I'm still that way in some cases, but yeah, you there's people that you just have no time for.
Couldn't have
Jeff
time.
was a guy that liked, Greg Hassman was a guy that liked to pick on me when I was a kid. And,
Yeah.
and the reason literally was because when he was a junior or senior, I was a freshman, and I was like 5'2" and 125 pounds. So I was easy to pick on. He didn't go and try and pick on Chad Prusner, who was twice as big as me and one of my better friends. He chose to pick on me, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, you just picked the low-hanging fruit here, bud. I get it. And I won long term.
Nice.
But is it difficult for you to, I guess, completely cut off all communication with somebody? Because I feel like you always see the best in people typically.
I do, but at the same time, it's not an intentional thing. Yeah, I'm saying if I never see, I'm not going to be an asshole to Greg if I
Sure.
see him again, unless he sees this and he goes, "Why'd you call me out on your butt?" But I mean,
He's a avid listener.
We're coming for you, Greg.
right? No, but and the thing is, you got to recognize the last time I really hung out and/or was around Greg was 30 years ago. A lot
Yeah.
can happen in 30 years. He might be a great guy now. He might have.
He might walk if he saw you. He might walk right up to you and be like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry."
I doubt it.
Oh.
But he might be, wife, 2 kids, just doing a thing. I
Yeah.
don't know. But he was an asshole to me in high school, so that's what sticks for right now.
I'm glad you answered that question that way, because that is like almost beat for beat kind of what I had with a real close high school friend.
Yeah.
And just like constantly just berate me for stuff. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know why. But then after high school, we just kind of just slowly drifted apart. And then I found him again at a bar and we were hanging out and he was just like doing the same jokes that he did like 6 years ago. And I was like, oh, okay, got it. And then just kind of just drifted away even further.
Yeah, I have a blast going home though, as you've seen. I mean,
It's a good time.
yeah. Matt and I did a show with Tyler Walsh up at my hometown golf course. We'll have to do that this summer sometime. And it was a blast. A lot of people I haven't seen in a very long time, stuff like that. And then we went to Parkersburg and we hit a bar over there that I'd never been at. It was Russ's back when I was a kid, but I don't know what it is now. And
What's russets? It's just potato-based drinks. Yeah.
yeah, Russ Simon was his name. He had the bar there forever. But anyway, we just hung out and heard stories. And
Was that the bar that had a seatbelt for a guy?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. There's a guy that
This guy gets a little too crazy.
Yeah, well, there's so many stories about that dude, and they were killing me because they had a picture of he's kind of I won't call him town drunk because that's a too strong a word, but he's a guy who enjoys a drink, and they have a seatbelt on his stool just in case he gets a little too tipsy.
Which is probably more dangerous.
Yeah, he's like
Well,
hanging off of it.
but he also, I guess, for Easter plays the Easter Bunny.
Oh, nice. He seems qualified for that.
And
he's not hopping. He's stumbling. So we catch him.
they had a picture of him so hungover for the Easter egg hunt. And he's standing there in his bunny costume and he's half passed out. It's the funniest picture.
All the eggs
I'll give
are
it to
piled
Matt and
into
you can
one
put it in here.
That's going to be clipped.
But Jesus, God, that when they were telling that story and then they threw the picture on us, we lost our shit. I was laughing so fucking hard at that point because that is a small town thing.
Yeah.
Town drunk and also the
Yeah.
Easter Bunny.
Also the Easter Bunny. He's great with the kids.
Yep, can't argue it.
Can't sit in a stool.
No.
Did he like live in a former gas station or something? Or
Who knows?
I thought there was some extra lore that we learned about like where he was living or something.
Yeah.
It's in a former gas station.
Yeah, what is that? Like, it was a gas station. No,
Yeah,
that's
it's
just
an old
where the
Pizza
Easter Bunny
Hut.
lives.
Yeah. That's
I cannot wait for my little girl to wake up tomorrow and get her excited for Easter and be like, no, the Easter Bunny lives in a gas station in Applington, Parkersburg. Yeah.
And he smells like Jim Beam.
Yeah, he sounds like,
Yep.
So when we did that show, we were raising money for a pool. Did they get the pool?
No, fuck no. We didn't raise that much money.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know if they ended up doing other things.
they got a couple
Appling-
gallons of water.
It's such
They're
a
ready for
weird
that pool.
town. It's such a strange town because my dad fought this all the time. Parkersburg and Applington are 4 miles apart, and Parkersburg's slightly larger than Applington. If Parkersburg decided that they needed to build a new pool, and they needed, let's call it $4 million to build this fucking aqua park for their kids, it would probably take 6 months to raise that money. They have very community focused, let's do everything the right way, 100% go. Applington is exactly the opposite. And they hoard money like misers. And there's people that have some money that could probably put a lot towards that thing, for either from an estate planning standpoint or whatever. They just choose not to.
Okay, so we go back there. We do another show called the Still Need to Get Wet show.
There
And-
you go. 100%.
And we do it again. And we just every year until this pool's done.
Yep.
Oh, you didn't like that? We're coming back next
We're coming
year.
back next year, and it's. But I mean, that pool was put in when the complex was built in 1976. So I mean, it's got to go.
Yeah.
And of course,
Well, the hole's already dug then.
Yeah.
part of it's done.
We're halfway
Yeah,
there.
You know, but it's a frustrating exercise to deal with that kind of mentality, for lack of a better term. They need what they need, and it's not going to be me, but they need somebody from outside the community who's from the community to come in with a sizable.
There's about 15 offensive linemen that were in the NFL that might be
They
able
get
to
hit up for every
everything.
fucking
Yeah, it's
thing,
gotta be
and
tough.
I don't blame them a bit if they choose not to do it, because it's
Yeah.
a never-ending thing.
game checks ain't coming in anymore. And
Well, not
yeah.
only that, but I mean, some of these guys, they're wealthy by any measure, but they're no more wealthy than some of the other people in town that aren't putting money towards
Mm-hmm.
it. So just because they're a little more public with their money because they were NFL players, that doesn't mean that they've got liquid cash just laying around to dump into a project either. So I'm sensitive to that. I'm not saying that. It's just a different mentality. Let's put it that way. Ironically, Dad's more of a Parkersburg ilk when in his thinking than Applington. It was a long fight to get all those things done that he did. It was not a snap of a finger. Hey, let's do this. So
It wasn't
it
the
was a
first
lot of
100
work.
days. It wasn't the first 100 days.
No, it took a long time to get. I think the school project was like a 3-year bond issue fight. I mean, it was long. Anyway, that's enough of that.
Dave, where's your blanket?
I left it in my office. I just decided to free.
You're gonna catch a cold.
I'm not.
Aaron lay across his lap.
You want me to get it?
All right.
No, I don't. I need to get a different blanket for the show.
Yeah, it stinks.
Well, it's just too big. It's from my bed in the other room, and it's that king size fucking blanket, and I'm like,
Listeners of the pod, if you want to donate
Yeah.
blanket, we'll take a donation basket. I'll put an address in the description. You
Yeah,
can
we
drop
need.
it off.
We need. We're doing a fundraiser here now. We need
Yep.
blankets. We need wigs.
Yeah.
Preferably not used.
yep.
What else we need?
I don't know. I speaking of raising money though, I really want to bring back the Jerry Lewis telethon from
Yeah?
my youth.
Looks like it.
I really want to bring that back, and the reason why I've always wanted to, Alex Carter and I have talked about it because we're both '80s kids, and we talked about MDA telethon was the shit, and it really wasn't. But then I found out Zach Meekum was one of Jerry's kids, and I said, "Holy shit, we got to do it now."
Yeah.
Zach's involved, and so I'm like, "All right." We got
Second
one.
generation Jerry's kids.
Boy, he's got a beard, he's hitting up chicks on the internet.
Yeah.
Jerry wouldn't approve. Actually, he probably would. But we've talked about varying versions of that, ranging from like a sketch to an actual telethon.
That's fun.
That'd be kind of fun.
Yep.
Let's do it.
I told him I want to do the Ed McMahon roll, the timpani roll. That's when they updated the board on how much money they've raised, which
Oh.
some bullshit fictitious number they pulled out of the air. Hey, we're up to $20 million. Every year Jerry would come on and we're this close to getting a cure. We're not even.
You've been doing this for 25 years,
Exactly.
Jerry.
My boy Zach's still breathing through a fucking hose in a wheelchair. Shut the fuck up, Jerry.
Our version of a telethon would just be putting a Venmo on the screen, and then you can just donate to the Venmo.
Yeah.
With
Just like the Carson King thing a couple of years ago.
Yeah, pretty much.
Iowa State.
just a Gen Z girl sitting there by a phone that doesn't ring.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Next up.
Next up, I was working
Any
at the
other
Des Moines
questions?
Register when the Carson King article came out, and everyone got real mad about
That's
it.
why you quit, right?
Yes, I got scared and ran away because they were getting like death threats, like constant calls all day. Just
For
and then-
what?
Yeah, where was he at again?
Carson King?
Yeah, like where did the original sign
It was
stem
at a
from?
football game.
It was in an Iowa State
Who-
game,
what
I
football?
think, and they got game day.
Oh, you sneaky
Ah,
snake. You conniving.
Do anything to win a bet.
You slippery.
Yeah, I had
Salamander.
friends working there, and people were like,
I'm trying to win a bet. No one's betting against you. This is pretty easy bet to win.
I don't even have any money on it, but I still want
Right.
to win it. Like
You
I
make
haven't,
the rules and you're trying to break your own rules.
I haven't hit one of these. Yeah, I had friends working for the Register, and then everybody was like questioning their journalistic integrity and, like stuff that they were not educated in anyway of how journalists operate. And
Well, would that, you
guy
went
got
to school
fired.
for it? Wouldn't that have technically doing research? Wouldn't that have been journalistic integrity? But maybe it was more of like a good initiative, bad judgment thing. Like the kid's doing a good thing, leave him alone, shut up.
I mean, I plead the fifth on it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I mean, I can see both sides, but I mean,
1, 2, 3,
that
4,
reporter got
5.
fired too because as soon as they
Went into his
everybody went into
background.
his,
Oh
then,
yeah.
like, he had a tweet
Plead
that had
the
a
fifth.
lyric that had a racial slur.
Hell
in it,
yeah.
so-
Live by the sword, die by the sword, baby.
Yeah.
So take this with as much grains of salt as you want, because this is all, I don't know, remember where I heard this or read this or whatever. I think it was an interview with the reporter who got fired, but he said that he brought it to the editor and said, I don't know if we should include this in the article. And the editor said, include it. So he himself was like, I don't know if we should put this in there. Like, it doesn't, like, he's obviously remorseful about it.
The article also was like, he didn't write the article. The thing was like, Carson King then got ahead of it and went to the other news station and was like, hey, I need to address this thing. A Des Moines Register reporter talked to me and pulled up this old tweet. So
okay.
like, technically the Register didn't even release it. It was just that he pulled up a tweet that was like, hey, like, what's up with this kind of thing? And then he was like, shit, I better cover my tracks and get ahead of this thing. So
Oh, interesting.
Who's Carson King?
he's the guy who he had a,
I know Carson.
okay,
King.
fair enough.
All right. So here's another segment.
Shout out Carson King.
Shout out. Did a great thing.
So Aaron, our resident parlay boy, has a
Take offense to that.
bachelor party this weekend.
Wait, this weekend?
That's upcoming weekend.
What are we putting on the same Aaron parlay for what he's going to do on his bachelor party?
Oh no.
Yeah, I might need to call in from the airport.
Just catching ping pongs.
With his wait, what?
Where are you going again?
Vegas. A little town called Las
A
Vegas.
little town called Las Vegas.
Nevada. So population.
Where you
like,
staying?
Mandalay Bay.
Okay. All right. All right.
Not a lot of issues there. Just one big one.
Is it pool
Which
season yet?
is?
I think it was 2018.
Oh yeah, they had that
Yeah.
little concert that
Oh,
didn't go
I see what
well.
you're saying. I thought you personally.
No, I haven't personally had
I stayed at that same actually
the same room.
not the same room. That whole floor is like blocked off. You
yeah, they
can't get
blocked
on
it
there.
off,
But
yeah.
like where we were at, you could like see like where I stayed in the hotel and you could see like the room that he shot from and
Damn.
everything from there. So
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
You got any jokes on that or any tags? Nope.
Any jokes on that?
Yep. Just love death.
Yeah. Too soon.
What are the big plans? Anything set up? for that?
So they're the groomsmen are basically.
You have no
planning
idea,
stuff.
dude.
The only thing I know is we got to book it ahead of time. Is we're gonna hit the spa.
Nice.
I think
Love
it's
that.
the Venetian. We went there for a buddy's bachelor party.
Yep.
Amazing massages.
Yeah.
They got like salt rooms and shit, and it's a bathhouse too, so you can just go hogs out. Jump
That's
in the hot
awesome,
tub,
dude.
Hogs
like,
out,
What's
baby.
yeah,
up,
dude.
boys? You know, yeah. None of you guys wanted to go. You guys all had the invite, but I guess this podcast.
Easter
I have
weekend.
cancer.
Easter weekend, have a
that's
wife
a
and child.
Cancer
Yeah.
card.
Gotta get card out.
Yeah, get that card.
Card number 3.
No, I would not be able to go.
Hopefully, do you think you're going to make the wedding? It's in September
Yeah.
in
I'll
Illinois.
be done.
A little bit of travel.
I'll be
Yeah, he'll
done.
be dead. Wait.
Well, I'll be one of two things.
We either bringing ashes or bringing him.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking amazing.
we just bring an urn.
It's not-
bring an urn with a little packet of Dave,
Yeah.
and you just kind of
A little packet of Dave.
Yeah. Little packet of Dave.
Whenever
That's what they
throwing
throw
rice.
instead of rice.
what's this? Kind of gritty.
Oh.
Why is there a tooth in here?
Oh, I got it in my mouth. So how many times do we think Aaron's going to throw up?
In Vegas,
So yeah, that's a
good one.
Great over under.
Are you much of a throw up guy?
Well, that's the thing is I don't drink very much because it was always getting me sick.
Okay.
Ooh.
So you do throw. So,
But
okay.
I feel like it's
What's a fair over under then? 2.5?
Oh,
I think I'm calling one.
How many
and a
nights
half.
you gonna be there?
1.5. Ooh. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then we're there a lot of Sunday. So, but I don't want to get too drunk to where I can't get on an airplane.
We need to establish what qualifies as a barf. Like, is it like just?
I don't think we do.
No,
I think we know exactly what it is, Matt.
Yeah.
Well, like
Familiar
If
with
it
it.
stays in your mouth and you swallow it back, like does it have to actually?
Oh,
like,
no.
No, like that's fine, but like if he's like, you know, throwing up and then he kind of stops for a second and then throws up again, is that 2 barfs or is that 1 barf?
No, that's one.
Okay,
That's one
that's what I'm
sesh.
wondering.
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes a double clutch. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it happens. It happens a bit. I was at my brother's wedding in Mexico at the all-inclusive, and like the day that I didn't drink anything at all, I was like, I woke up in the middle of the night and I was puking. So
Question
It's-
for the panel: what do you think of destination weddings? What are your opinions on that?
I guess mine kind of is. I mean, it's my dad's backyard, but it is a state
It's in
away.
Illinois.
That's a destination.
That's not a
Believe me.
destination.
According to
That's where you're
TripAdvisor, it is a
from.
destination.
Every
yeah.
time I see a destination wedding,
Yeah,
I
that's
see
not a
a couple
destination
that
wedding.
didn't want to make some people unhappy that they weren't invited.
Yep.
Well,
enough.
I think
Because Mikey almost went down that road.
Yeah, I did. Oh, yeah.
Pope-
Everything short of the wedding. We were there. we went there.
People were there.
It was the
Yeah.
birth of the Yeti cooler.
We had to do
Fucking-
separate rooms
bit.
because we weren't talking much.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
But-
the audiences know what that is. You gotta detail that
Yeah,
for
we're
the
gonna
people.
fill
Had
it
a-
a little bit.
I had a broken engagement a month before a non-refundable destination wedding to Mexico, and so everybody just still went. It was a good time.
That's part of the reason why I don't like destination weddings. I'm like, I don't know. I think it's. I don't know if the right word is selfish. But
It
it's
just
like,
depends. Every situation's different.
Yeah.
And maybe
I
you're
think
in a
second
situation where
weddings
it
are
should
cool.
be.
I
Yeah.
think like if you're having a second wedding or a third wedding, whatever.
Yep.
I think that's fine because
Yep.
you're not inviting the world to that anyway. It's just it's a few friends maybe or whatever.
You'd be surprised. I got an uncle. His 4th wedding was
I
at a
would be.
VFW because he wasn't paying for another one. You know.
See, that guy's my speed. Yeah, between me being there and Tyler Walsh being bellied up at the bar eating pickled eggs.
Yeah.
We'd be happy as a clam in that VFW, but yeah, I'm not. Coming from a guy who's never been there, just like it seems. I don't know.
it feels
you're
selfish.
You're making people.
It depends on how you're doing it, but you don't have to invite a bunch of people. You
No,
can
but
do
I
a
mean the
destination
people
wedding
you
and have
want
it be
there,
small.
and then
Well, it depends on the destination too.
Fair enough. I'm just talking in circles.
Yeah.
It feels selfish asking my boys to book a hotel room in Vegas and rent a suit. So I feel, yeah. I mean, there's kind of no way around it to some extent.
I just
Costs.
think that like if you're doing a destination wedding, why not just have like a little party back home or something? And it doesn't have to be expensive. It could just be like a community center. Just
That's
throw
what
bunch
a
people
buddy
there.
of mine did. It was her second wedding, his 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And they did let's go to Mexico. They got married in front of like each of their parents. And I think that was it.
Yeah.
And then they came back and threw the big reception. And I'm like, God, that's the way to go on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what we're doing a legal courthouse wedding. And then there'll be a 10-minute ceremony for us. And then it's all right, let's party.
Yeah.
That's what
My,
we did. We got married in our house. The judge just came to our house, and my sister was there for a witness, and one of my wife's friends was there. And
Your
Yeah.
house, meaning you and your wife's?
yeah,
Or-
in
No
our house, when the
shit?
judge showed up, and we got married. The house we live in is that house we got married in, and then
Fuck
we
yeah.
just do a party at a VFW hall. I don't know why we're hating on those.
I'm not.
Not at all.
I am dead ass serious.
They just
I
have
fuck-
character.
Been to a couple VFW weddings. My grandpa, he got kicked out of a restaurant at a destination wedding because he refuses to wear pants. That's real. It's like, no, just shorts. We need to go put on pants, sir. I don't have any pants.
I was hoping he's down there in the whitey tights.
We're in Mexico. No, the best thing is this. My grandpa's a union liberal. If you don't know what a union liberal is, it means like you generally vote Democratic, but you're very upset you have to hit English on an ATM.
There you go.
That's a union liberal. So I'm down in Mexico with my grandpa. He's been like, you got to speak English if you come to this country. He's in Mexico. Like, none of these people speak English. And I'm like, you're in Mexico. You can't have it both ways. And they do. Your hearing aids just aren't high enough for them to understand.
God damn, that's funny.
And they don't
Union
hit G's
liberal.
very hard. So it keeps sounding like they're calling you Hitler instead of Gettler. Yeah. So it's fun.
The angriest I've ever seen my dad get was when my brother was trying to set him up on Uber. And Dad, what do you want for a password? And he just lost his mind. He hated passwords more than anything.
Yep.
And I thought about it, and I'm like, there's certain industries I get why you have to have password protected shit. You know, whether it's, you know, banking, you know, stock market, your brokerage accounts, that kind of shit. For me, tax software is a no-brainer. I don't care how many authentications I have to go through. But to go to some dumbass website or whatever that's a utility player, I think you should be able to opt out and just say, fuck it, I'll take the risk.
But all of those places are trying to get you to spend money, so they are in their own way like a bank. It's for financial transactions.
What are you saying?
You argued against yourself in that sentence.
I'm saying...
I get it, though. I do get it. The password thing gets a little crazy.
And now we're into MFA world, which I don't need the multi-factor authentication to get into fucking QuickBooks.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. It's pissed me off. But anyway, that's just old man griping.
Absolutely.
And I'm taking over for Dad.
Yeah.
That's his legacy.
It's a great tradition.
I have to preserve.
Absolutely.
Bitching about passwords.
Tell you what, wig looks even better up an inch. Yeah.
Why did you even say it?
Yeah, you should have pulled it up. No.
No, I'm just itching my forehead.
Okay, good.
I have an itchy forehead now that I'm bald. I didn't before. I don't know why.
It's probably the wigs, man.
If I scratch my back, is that an itchy forehead? Because it just if a forehead is just the space between your eyebrows and your hairline, does my forehead just keep going down?
Keep going.
I think that forehead is a pretty specific.
Oh, I guess there's head in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a dude in boot camp with a big ass head. We called him Xbox because none of the helmets fit him. Hope he's doing well.
Oh, goddamn. Godspeed.
No, but you see everybody with like their helmet on normals, and you always knew who it was because
It's holy F.
just bouncing around up there because it couldn't get out of school. It was
I would have
great.
called him Target because I'm like, Jesus Christ, you're an easy mark, bro.
Yeah.
Easy mark. By the way, military update. I've watched all of Band of Brothers
Ooh,
in
yeah.
one day and
Yeah.
then followed it up with Saving Private Ryan.
Don't believe
Yeah.
you. Don't believe you. You said you're sleeping 18 to 20 a day.
This
You
was
can't-
this was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay,
This is
fair
not
enough.
recently.
All right, fair
but just thought I'd tell Mike.
Just incredible.
Yeah.
Both shows. Yeah.
Dave looks
Movie.
like an Andy Dick impersonator.
If that's not a thing, it should be.
Or,
Jesus.
or an Andy Dick accuser. Yeah.
It could be both.
You look like every substitute teacher I tormented in middle school.
Yeah.
Just like, I thought that'd be funnier.
Did you ever mess with a substitute teacher? You probably had a great respect
Yeah,
for teachers.
no, we generally knew him.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a lot
It's a
of.
small town, so you're like, oh, it's just Mrs.
Yeah, it's just somebody's mom or dad or whatever, or some retired teacher coming back in or whatever. So you're like, you didn't mess with them too much. They weren't subject matter experts, so it
Yeah.
was more or less an hour of fucking around anyway. So who cares? And there's one guy, one really really old guy named Elmer Deakey.
Yeah, that's a
Elm
great name.
Dog.
Elm Dog. He was from rural Wellsburg, so we didn't know him very well, and he came in to teach math, and it didn't go well for him. We had him pretty well turned in circles at one point, trying to explain a problem. He got very frustrated by that.
I had a math sub in high school, and she was a very sweet lady, and she would ask a question. My hand would just shoot up, and I just answered every single question wrong for 45 straight minutes. But then I'm walking out. She's like, Michael? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, I really appreciate your enthusiasm today. I have a free period, and I would love to bring you cookies. Where are you going to be in fifth period? And I was like, probably 6 feet under. Yeah, today did not go well for me.
No.
And she brought me cookies. Yep.
Wow, she's sweet on you.
She appreciated my enthusiasm. I shot up. And I did legitimately try to answer most of them.
I hated that in college. We had a kind of a Socratic method accounting professor that would ask questions, and that would lead to more questions, blah, 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 blah. And the smartest people in the room never liked to answer questions. And it drove me absolutely up the fucking wall because I'm like, we're not wasting time. But
Help us out here.
Yeah.
I was just like, so one day I just went
Hey,
in
guy that ruined the curve.
I
Say
called him out by
something.
name. I'm just like, Sean, Jesus Christ, you know the fucking answer. Sammy, come on, man. Because these are the guys I studied with who were rock star smarter than I was. And I was just like, this is stupid. I got frustrated by it. I also got frustrated at non-traditional students that were there. Yeah. Yeah. I know. A
don't know
little
what that
close to
means.
home, brother.
I don't know what that means.
Non-traditional is like
Veterans?
somebody in there like
On the GI Bill, or what are you talking about?
some people that they're like 30-year-olds
Yeah.
or whatever that come in and they're in your class. And
It's tough. I was
they sit
23
front-
when I started.
Yeah,
at least.
that doesn't count. You're still pretty young and young at heart anyway. These are
Yeah.
grizzled business veterans that were sitting in my accounting class. And we had a few that would always shoot their hands up and give real life examples to whatever they were talking
Love
about.
that.
And at one point, I got my auditing professor. He almost had to leave the room. He was laughing so hard because I'm in the back row, and this her hand goes up, and I just go, "Nobody cares,"
Nice.
and he about lost his mind laughing. And he's just like apologizing to the lady while still giving me the attaboy.
Yeah.
The best is the history classes, especially if you get like a history major in there, because there's like that one kid who the teacher says one historical event and he's hand up. Well, what's interesting about that? And then gives like 6 other history, and the teacher's like, I'm getting to it.
Yeah, no shit.
I made a statistics TA cry.
Nice.
Yeah. He was very bad at his job. He couldn't explain. I think he was just nervous. Like he wasn't very good around people. And it was my freshman year, fresh out of the Marine Corps. So I wasn't very good with people yet either.
Right.
And he like would mess everything up like in the class and then over email send like, oh, I screwed this up in class with statistics, which doesn't make sense in an email, especially for somebody. I'm taking statistics because I'm bad at math, buddy.
Is it like intro?
It's
Your first
first
that
statistic,
class?
yeah.
Okay.
And so
Learning mean, median, and mode, were you?
I don't even remember. Yeah. So he like pulls me out into the hallway one time and he's like, why are you so mean to me? I was like, because you're bad at your job. And I'm doing bad in this class because of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was pretty upset.
Yep, that'll happen.
And one day I said, I shouldn't say his name, but I was like, this guy takes Plan B every day because he likes the way it makes him feel.
No, I was not a good enough student to be an asshole in class, but I every once in a while would creep out. People get a little too chesty,
Yeah.
and I'd have to knock them down a little bit, and that was always fun. Especially in my, what was it? Women, Men, and Society class, which was a trip.
Ooh.
I was like one of 10 dudes in the whole class. And
All trying to get the women that were in that class?
no, not
No.
at all. I thought it would be a simple class, so I just took it was gen ed, and I was
Mhm.
like, yeah, fuck whatever. And professor, you're exactly who you would think is teaching the Women, Men, and Society class, and a few of the young ladies in the class had very bad experiences with men when a certain topic would come up, and being sensitive to that. But I also had a lot of lady friends, if you will, not. And I would, because my room was kind of a hub of activity in our dorm, and I never got much sleep there, so I would go across the street to the girls' dorm with one of my friends, and I would take naps on her couch all the time. So I got to hear conversations women were having in the hallway. They're just as bad as anything that guys have. And I raised that point once in class. I go, do you really think women don't think and act and talk this way? I go, you're full of shit. And she didn't like that very much.
Yeah.
They're like,
She
how
did
do you,
introduce me to a really fun game, though. I was just like, that would be she talked about she had a kid in her class that these guys played a game in Ryder Hall called 8 Seconds, and you'd get a girl back to your room, and the rest of the guys would, because it was a first floor room, so they would all go pile out and watch from the and she'd be doing her from behind and then slap her ass and say, God, you are fat, and then see if he could hang on for 8 seconds. And I was just like, I go, why are you telling me this? Why are you, of all people, telling me this? Because, A, it's disgusting. Or some kind of
In that wig, dude, that's fun.
Your teacher said that
my teacher told us about that in class.
of a class where
And that was
Women, Men's Society.
Women, Men's Society. Yeah.
Basically, the class was talking about, if you will, the patriarchy and how men are privileged. And I said, yeah. Let's keep it that way. It didn't go over well either. I didn't do well in that
Dave's
class.
saying, let's keep it that way. And then you hear a symphony of just.
Go Ben.
That's right.
Boys being boys.
Yep. But yeah, she told us a lot of shit that happened on campus. And I'm like, boy, didn't need to know that, but okay.
We had a marriage and family class in senior year of high school. It was me and one other dude. My friend Tyler, we took it together. He missed he got called in because it was
Was it
first
at your
period.
bachelor party?
Yes, he was.
All right.
Yeah,
I
it was
remember
fun.
him.
Tyler, we planned a wedding together. It was beautiful. And I did it. I did all the work. He actually lost half the report. Yeah. So, but we're in this class and they hated us because every girl that had a boyfriend would be like, because it's called marriage and family, they'd be like, well, we're in love. And we'd be like, no, you're not. You're in high school. You know nothing.
Yep.
None of these are going to last.
Nope.
And so we were real downers on the class. Yeah.
It's very rare
very rare.
that they last. I've got friends who did. And obviously our friend Weston here is a case example, but
I would have not said that to you.
No.
yeah, you got to choose your battles, you know. You can sit there and say, that ain't going to work. As soon as she realizes she's skipping her 20s in the name of being married, she's going to be pissed off about it. And then she's going to try and relive them in her 30s, and it's not going to go well for him. So
Yeah.
good luck.
Do me a favor. Try the beanie on the wig. I want to see how that looks
Did do
like.
that earlier.
Did you?
Yeah.
Every time I cut to Dave's camera, it just cracks me up seeing that shiny forehead.
It's okay. It's okay. Hey. It's
Yeah,
okay.
you got this,
Oh,
man.
It's all right.
Let's go, Dave.
There, okay, there we go.
And he's getting it on.
That's about it.
Hey, you know what? That actually
That's pretty.
Little
You
skater
actually,
boy.
yeah, you look like a lot of 17-year-olds right now. Yeah.
Dave, can
The
you just
broccoli.
give us a real loud yeah right into the mic?
Yeah.
we didn't use
great.
AI to de-age Dave, people.
Nope.
It's just how he looks now.
Now you look like someone who's playing an elf in the mall at Christmas time.
Which reminds me of my favorite Christmas movie,
Elf.
Bad Santa.
No.
Die Hard.
God damn, that is great.
What's up with you and the sandwiches, kid? His granny
Surprise.
surprise.
That is great.
Fucking great.
Does your daddy have a car? What's your favorite bad Santa quote, Dave?
Both the ones you
When-
just said.
The duality of the podcast, you know.
When what's his name's character, the mole manager?
Bernie Mac.
Ritter.
No.
Oh, yeah,
John
Ritter, yeah.
Ritter's talking about the little person. He's got those little Vienna sausage fingers. I lost the first time I saw that. I was laughing hysterically at the whole movie, but I lost my mind when just the way he said it. It's got those little Vienna sausage. It just made me laugh. Shout out to little people.
He's not going to say fuck stick in front of the kids, is he?
John Ritter throughout that whole thing is awesome. Anyway, who gives a shit? Moving on.
Anyway, we've been doing this for some time now. Does
Okay.
anyone else have anything of importance to ask Dave? Otherwise, we can wrap it up.
We got more episodes, maybe.
We got more episodes.
Save it.
maybe?
We'll have another finale.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see if this actually is the finale or not.
Fair warning. We usually tape these on Sunday nights, and next week being Easter, there are those of us who are going to be out of town, so highly unlikely we'll have an episode next week, unless we make alternative plans. But
Yeah, it's tough. WrestleMania is that weekend, so I don't know.
WrestleMania and Easter
And Easter,
McMahon-
and Aaron's bachelor party.
and
Yep.
Aaron's bachelor. I mean,
So
it's
we
just
think he's
so
gonna
much.
barf
What's the
2.5
line?
times.
Over under
I don't-
2.5 pukes.
I don't know
Two
if
and a
we'll
half
have
Is that what it is?
time.
2.5?
All right,
I
I'll
think
get
it's,
that.
I'll
I
say
think it's a good
2.5.
number. Yeah.
Well, you want it to be like like, oh, I threw up once. Like, who gives a like? You want it to be impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like
2.5's fair.
he's gonna be just surrounded by constant societal pressure from.
Yeah.
Yeah,
his
and
friends.
Vegas is a very overstimulating town. I'll take the over.
Oh, and dude, don't pick up those flyers or cards off the ground. Just a tip. Don't touch those.
Shout out to all my Guatemalan friends working the strip, though.
Thebadocious.
All right.
Thebadocious used to work the strip.
All right, that's gonna be Dave's gonna die. Shout out to all the Dave's Guatemalan friends. Shout
Yep.
out to all the teachers. Shout out to all the friends we lost along the way. Shout out to the people trying to make Disney World a better place. And
It's not.
shout out to Andy Dick. And we're gonna have a nice night, and I hope you have a lovely day.
Sorry, no Ian Pope this week. The Ray of Pope was gone. He had a gig.
Ray of Pope will return.
We got to
even
try to
if
get one
this
of
show
these with
does
all
not.
of us on here.
Yeah.
Well, we've been trying for, I want to say 6 episodes now. And it hasn't worked.
Dave's up against the clock.
Really?
All right, ciao.
All right, later.
All right.